I think what connects us from ancient civilizations until now, and what will connect us with the future, is the same space, landscape, or nature that we're moving in and moving about in, because in this same space many people years ago existed and lived, and now we are here, living here in the same space. And hopefully in the future, should we survive climate disasters, I remember reading the introduction to the translation of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, how this piece of very old literature is still relevant and is still significant for contemporary readers, precisely because of its preoccupation with nature, how intimately it described nature back then, and how we can visualize it as if it's the same nature that we're moving about in now. And so what connects us essentially is the same physical landscape in the past and in the present. I think probably the first instance use of language or writing, like in cuneiform, arose precisely because we want to communicate. And in communication, it's that desire to connect with someone, other people. And the formation of the first languages fills that need, and until now we use language similarly. It's also fascinating, I think, the idea that we have that a lot of languages probably arose from like the same source or the same singular source, because it dismantles this idea of like culture as very closed off, and like one culture as significantly or entirely detached and different from other cultures. I believe like languages develop based on the context of each culture, and not necessarily because one culture is different. I think it's just that there's certain emphasis on certain things, the same way Southeast Asians have so many terms for rice as opposed to like other countries which only have one word or two words for rice. That does not mean like languages are essentially unique or different, but just that we have different emphasis, but ultimately we are not so different. I think expectation versus wishful thinking are quite different. I would expect in the future, due to climate change, climate crisis, like the Philippines, for example, would be submerged almost entirely in years to come because of the melting of the ice caps and the rising sea levels. But I wish we could reach the target lessening of carbon emission, the target for environmental justice, so that we don't have to face that catastrophe anymore, and that in the future people are less greedy, and so civilizations don't have to like colonize and neo-colonize each other out of greed.